Tell me, Alex, have you ever noticed how adults possess this relentless flair for over-dramatizing absolutely everything?
Spot on. Just yesterday, my mom dropped this profound little gem. Life is a long and winding journey.
That does carry a rather poetic ring to it, doesn't it?
Poetic? Hardly. In the very next breath, she ordered me to clean my room. She warned that if I didn't, my grand journey would commence with me tripping headlong over a pair of filthy socks.
A starkly pragmatic warning. After all, some of life's most profound lessons are learned face down on the floor.
What about you? What metaphor would you use to describe life?
To my mind, life bears a striking resemblance to a smartphone.
You mean, it flashes by in the blink of an eye?
Not quite. It's more like waking up with a 100% battery, accomplishing absolutely nothing of substance by nightfall, and finding yourself at a mere 3%. The most agonizing part? You can't even fathom what drained it.
Oh, absolutely. You innocently tap the screen just to check the time.
And 20 minutes later, you remain completely oblivious to what time it is.
Yet, you are intimately acquainted with a salsa dancing cat, a duck strolling in a trench coat, and some eccentric uncle using a power drill to frost a cake.
My repository of utterly useless knowledge is boundlessly rich.
Your brain truly possesses the most peculiar architecture.
I appreciate that. I shall graciously accept it as a compliment.
When did I ever say it was a compliment?
I validated it myself. They do say self-love is paramount after all.
Self-love shouldn't necessarily equate to awarding yourself the most fabulous person of the day trophy like you do.
I am the sole judge of this prestigious award, making it a highly credible source. Now, if you had the power to redefine life, what would you call it?
I perceive life as a grueling examination.
Sounds dreadfully suffocating, doesn't it?
Suffocating indeed, because the most terrifying realization is that the moment you finally figure out the answers, your paper has already been collected.
That sounds simultaneously heartbreaking and brutally accurate. I prefer a gentler philosophy. Life is an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Back to food, as always.
A refined individual takes just enough to savor the experience. Meanwhile, the gluttonous ones,
Pile up 2 or 3 plates to the brim, only to sit and weep at the sight of them.
that was precisely you last Saturday. You even boldly declared, "This is a strategic asset investment."
And subsequently, I had to walk for 2 grueling hours just to break even.
Which is exactly why I say, true happiness sometimes simply means overthinking a little less.
Spare me, I've tried this whole thinking less nonsense. It's utterly ineffective.
Why is that?
The very second I let my guard down, I instantly forget what on earth I was supposed to be doing.
That's not thinking less. That is your brain submitting an application for unpaid leave.
Sometimes, I realize I am genuinely an anomaly.
Everyone on this earth has their eccentric moments. The only difference lies in whether or not there are witnesses to the crime.
Quite the philosopher. Where did you harvest such profound wisdom?
From the lived trauma of someone who has laid in bed scrolling through her phone, only to have it plummet directly onto her face countless times.
Oh, heavens! It brings absolute tears to your eyes, doesn't it? I thought I was the only victim.
Welcome to the Self-Inflicted Casualties for Entertainment Society. We boast a massive membership, so you'll never feel alone.
So, when all is said and done, what is life?
If you ask me, life has absolutely no obligation to be perfect.
Then what does it require?
It merely requires enough beautifully tragicomic moments, so that when we grow old and reminisce, we can still burst into laughter.
Well, in that case, we've been amassing quite the treasure trove just in this conversation.
Exactly. I only hope that when we look back, we find our past selves rather endearing.
Or at the very least, spectacularly foolish with a touch of style.
It's a deal.
My stomach just broadcasted a distress signal of protest. Did you catch that?
Loud and crystal clear, it is issuing an ultimatum, demanding its inherent right to survive.
I've subjected it to nothing but a solitary cup of coffee since dawn. If my stomach possessed a screen, it would flash, Please insert actual calories, no more liquid bitterness.
Speaking of food, I accidentally tumbled down a rabbit hole of cooking videos last night. It was absolute psychological trauma.
Why? Did they concoct something unappetizing?
No. I merely realized that there are entities walking this earth who should absolutely be legally barred from entering a kitchen.
I believe the term they use is culinary avant-garde.
And I call it a crime scene. Would you believe me if I told you someone actually drizzled chocolate syrup over spaghetti?
Stop, please. Spare me the gruesome details.
I'm not finished! They then proceeded to scatter a handful of Laughing Cow cheese wedges over the monstrosity.
My heart just skipped a painful beat. That is a bona fide gastronomic felony.
Tell me, have your hands ever been stained by such a heinous crime?
Well, yes. There was an incident where I attempted to craft a gourmet omelette.
That actually sounds rather promising, doesn't it?
Initially, I added ketchup. Then I pondered. A dash of chili sauce for complexity. Swept up in the moment, I squirted some mayonnaise, drizzled honey, cracked black pepper, and squeezed in half a lemon for good measure.
Hold on. Were you frying an egg or brewing a lethal potion, Alex?
At the time, I envisioned a harmonious union of all worldly flavors.
And the aftermath?
They formed a formidable alliance to wage absolute war on my digestive system.
What did this creation even look like?
It bore a striking resemblance to a hazardous chemical spill, demanding immediate emergency intervention.
Did you actually consume it?
Of course I did. I loathe wasting food. But honestly, it was the very first time I ate while furiously reciting prayers.
All right, fine. I have a confession of my own. Back in middle school, I was tasked with cooking rice.
Cooking rice? Even a toddler could manage that.
Except I entirely forgot to add the water.
So you quite literally cooked dry rice?
Barely 10 minutes in, thick plumes of smoke billowed out like a house fire. The poor rice cooker died a valiant hero's death that day.
How did your mother react to the carnage?
My mother stepped into the kitchen, stared silently at the scorched pot for 3 agonizing seconds, and asked with chilling gentleness, "Are you pioneering a new type of rocket fuel, darling?"
Her sarcasm is absolutely legendary.
And ever since that fateful day, I was promoted to head of vegetable washing, a spectacularly risk-free position.
Well, at least no one has ever managed to incinerate a lettuce leaf. So, what's the most bizarre culinary nightmare you've encountered in the wild?
I once witnessed a vendor selling durian pizza, generously topped with canned sardines and whipped cream.
Good heavens, where is the gastronomic police? Why hasn't that establishment been permanently sealed off?
That's mere child's play. I have seen a menu boasting milk tea flavored with black garlic.
Tell me that was a sick April Fool's joke.
100% real. People were actually purchasing and consuming it. I'd wager they had to scrub their teeth for 3 solid hours before daring to engage in human interaction.
I've come to the realization that the root cause of these disasters lies in terribly ambiguous recipes.
Why on earth are you shifting the blame to the recipes?
For instance, when a recipe dictates add 1 spoonful of salt, I invariably add 2, simply because I am a boundless optimist.
Optimist, my foot! That is nothing but baseless arrogance!
And you? What is your greatest pet peeve when it comes to recipes?
I am utterly allergic to the phrase season to taste. Whose taste exactly are we catering to?
Spot on. The authors conveniently omit that crucial detail.
Precisely. Does it mean the palate of a master chef, a salt fanatic, or someone entirely devoid of taste buds? It is the most infuriatingly vague concept in the universe.
After all this talk, I am simultaneously famished and deeply disturbed by the culinary world.
Shall we just go purchase something crafted by a licensed professional? Safety above all else?
Agreed. For the sake of public safety, the 2 of us must abstain from entering any kitchen.
We are banished until the ghost of my scorched pot finally grants me forgiveness.
Say, Emna, what if, by some twist of fate, the 2 of us were washed ashore on a deserted island?
I would simply open my ride-hailing app and book a trip home.
There wouldn't be a shred of cellular reception out there.
Then I would patiently sit and wait until a signal miraculously appears and then book my ride.
We are discussing life or death survival strategies, and you are far too nonchalant. We must rehearse our skills. For instance, making a fire.
I perpetually keep a lighter in my pocket.
And if it runs out of fuel,
Then I would naturally borrow yours.
mine would be empty too.
Your contingency planning is woefully inadequate, I must say.
All right, let us pivot to foraging for sustenance. You'll be in charge of gathering fruit, yes?
Agreed. I shall meticulously observe the birds. Whatever berries they consume, I will consume.
But what if that specific bird is deeply depressed and deliberately ingesting poisonous berries?
You have just ruthlessly extinguished my last flickering ray of hope.
Just doing my civic duty. Meanwhile, I shall take on the noble task of fishing.
Do you even possess the requisite skills to fish?
No, I plan to sit on the shore and stare at the fish with unyielding intensity.
To achieve what, exactly?
To inflict psychological pressure. Initially, it will feel self-conscious, but recognizing my sheer perseverance, it will succumb to awkwardness and hurl itself onto dry land.
You are placing a dangerously high amount of faith in the inherent dignity of aquatic life.
As for constructing a shelter, I've binge-watched countless tutorials. It is remarkably straightforward.
Exuding confidence, are we? What materials are required?
A handful of sturdy branches, a durable rope, and, most critically, another human being who actually knows how to build it.
Then why on earth did you study the videos?
To accurately assess my own limitations. However, I possess a plan B. Forging an alliance with the squirrels.
Are you intending to employ a squirrel as our private tour guide?
No, recruiting it as our chief nut foraging strategist. I shall compensate it with profound, heartfelt gratitude.
Squirrels do not accept verbal currency as a valid form of payment, Alex.
Then I'll throw in a bonus of 3 sunflower seeds. Cultivating a robust networking web with the local wildlife is the absolute key to survival.
What happens when a torrential hurricane strikes?
I shall sing to elevate our collective morale.
I have the utmost faith in your vocal prowess. The last time you belted out a tune, the neighbor's dog literally held its breath and ceased barking.
You see, my music possesses an undeniable soothing aura.
Heavens, no! It stopped barking to bewilderedly investigate what cataclysmic natural disaster had just occurred.
Let's move past that. What if we encounter a ferocious bear?
What business would a bear have on a deserted tropical island?
Hypothetically speaking, what would be your course of action?
I would run.
What if the bear happens to be swifter than you?
I don't need to outrun the bear. I merely need to outrun you.
Is our profound friendship truly that fragile?
Rest easy. I will always hold your memory dear as I sprint for my life at breakneck speed.
I knew it. But when you strip it all down, survival isn't merely about desperately clinging to life, is it?
Indeed, it is also the art of preventing your spirit from entirely crumbling.
If you just sit around weeping, a single day stretches into a torturous year.
But if you can unearth a shred of joy, even the most terrifying ordeals shrink into insignificance.
Therefore, the ultimate survival stratagem is
To never surrender your sense of humor. And crucially, absolutely under no circumstances delegate you to cook, build shelters, or fish.
then what is my designated role?
The morale-boosting jester. You possess a spectacular gift for making people smile.
And you excel at transmuting utter nonsense into profoundly deep philosophical debates.
To each their own formidable strengths.
If the fateful day ever comes where I am lost, I truly hope to be lost alongside you. Because even if we lack all survival instincts, we will unquestionably never face a dull moment.
I concur. Though when we inevitably return and recount our heroic survival saga, everyone will accuse us of weaving tall tales.
Being accused of weaving tall tales is perfectly fine, as long as the story concludes with roaring, irrepressible laughter.
Because sometimes that is truly the most magnificent method of surviving this grand thing called life.